Girl, you all need to hear this because things are getting messy real fast. Word going around is that David's mom might be getting ready to speak publicly about the case. And if what people are saying is true, she actually believes her son is guilty. But here's where it gets confusing. Even though she supposedly thinks he did it, she's also trying to defend him and explain why he might have done what he's accused of doing. That's a twist nobody saw coming. But here's the big question. Why would she speak before the police even arrest David? Does she know something that hasn't been shared with the public yet? Or is this all part of some kind of plan to clean up his image before things get worse? Because honestly, that's what it's starting to look like. Each day, this whole situation around David gets stranger. From the moment this story broke, it's been one shocking update after another. But now his mother's stepping in and getting ready to make a statement. That's next level strange. I mean, David hasn't even been arrested. The police haven't named him a suspect or even a person of interest publicly. So why now? Why would his mother think this is the right time to start talking? People online are saying it's starting to look like a desperate attempt at damage control. There hasn't been any official word from David or his team about what's going on, but fans are convinced his mom is stepping up to do what mothers often do. Try to protect their son no matter what. They think she's going to tell everyone about his past, maybe about what he went through growing up, to explain why he turned out the way he did. You know how, after someone does something terrible, people close to them start saying things like, he was bullied, or he had a rough childhood? Well, that's exactly what everyone thinks is coming next in this situation. So now people are asking, what happened in David's past that could possibly explain what he might have done to Celeste? From what we know, David didn't have an easy time growing up. He was homeschooled most of his life, and rumors say that was because he was being bullied at school. The bullying apparently hit him hard, so his parents thought homeschooling would protect him, but that decision might have isolated him even more. He spent most of his childhood alone, away from kids his age, and he once admitted that he used to live through the people he saw online. He said he watched others live their lives on social media because he didn't really have one of his own. Things got worse after his family moved from Queens to Houston when he finished 8th grade. That move cut him off from whatever friends he did have. After that, he mostly stayed in his room and played video games. That became his world, his escape from reality. But the problem is, spending that much time isolated can really affect a person's social skills. Most people figure out who they are during their teenage years. But David didn't get that chance. He didn't socialize, didn't make friends, and didn't learn how to handle real-world emotions. Some people think that's where his antisocial behavior started. When people say antisocial, they usually mean someone who doesn't like to talk much. But in psychology, it can mean something deeper. A personality that doesn't feel empathy or guilt like most people do. That's why people online are now saying that David might have developed a sociopathic personality. And honestly, based on the things he said before, it's not hard to see why people might think that. In one interview, David talked about how he was always trying to escape from reality when he was a kid. He said, "I never wanted to read books or do anything productive. My mom always hated it because she thought video games were going to rot my brain, but that's actually how I fell in love with stories and characters." He explained that he learned about emotions and life from games instead of real people. He also said that after he left public school, no one stayed in touch with him, and he had to learn how to be his own friend. That kind of loneliness can seriously change a person's outlook on life. What really caught people's attention, though, was another thing he said in that same interview. He admitted that games influenced his personality a lot. He said, "I'd watch the characters in the games I played and think they were cool, so I'd start acting like them. I was like a personality sponge." That basically means he didn't have a real identity of his own. He borrowed it from characters in games, movies, and TV shows. Some people say that kind of behavior is another sign of emotional detachment. Like he didn't really know who he was. And when you put all that together, it starts to paint a picture of someone disconnected from reality. Fans who have gone back to watch his old interviews are now saying they can't believe they missed the red flags. Some even say they feel chills rewatching them because it feels like he was revealing who he really was without anyone noticing. In one interview back in March, he talked with Mahogany about what inspired his song Romantic Homicide. He said it was based on a character he created named Itami, which means pain in Japanese. He described Itami as an agent of chaos, a dark force that brings destruction wherever he goes. But here's the chilling part. Itami wasn't just a stage name. David said he was developing an anime story where a detective has to face his own dark alter ego, and that alter ego is actually the killer he's been chasing. The detective has to solve the murders that his darker self committed. Fans now can't help but see the eerie connection between that story and what's happening in real life. It almost feels like his music and art were giving clues about his mindset, long before anyone realized what might be going on behind the scenes. Now people are wondering whether David's mom's upcoming statement will touch on all this. His loneliness, his obsession with dark characters, and the pain he carried growing up. Maybe she's going to use his past as a way to explain or soften what he's accused of doing. But whatever the reason, her timing feels strange. The police haven't moved forward, and there's no official case update. Yet she's preparing to speak. It's making people wonder whether this is a genuine emotional move from a mother, or a planned effort to control the public narrative before things spiral further out of control. Either way, the situation is tense and fans are watching closely. The internet never forgets, and with every old clip and interview being rewatched, more people are starting to question just how much of David's darkness was hidden in plain sight.
As a detective, I'd be like solving murders that I'm...
Back then, most people thought David's talk about it was just an artistic metaphor, a creative way for him to express his fascination with dark stories and complex characters. It seemed like something musicians and writers often do, take pain and turn it into art. Nobody really believed it reflected something real inside him. But everything changed once the news broke about the homicide investigation and Celeste's body being discovered in David's black Tesla. Suddenly, all those lyrics, interviews, and cryptic references to Itami started to sound less like fiction and more like a confession hiding in plain sight. Fans have gone back to rewatch every old interview, dissecting his words frame by frame. Lines that once seemed harmless now feel unsettling. People are asking if Itami, the dark alter ego David claimed to have created for a story, was actually a reflection of his own hidden self, the part of him that he never showed publicly. Maybe Itami wasn't just a character, but a glimpse into the chaos and guilt he carried. As online detectives dig deeper, the connection between David and his so-called alter ego is becoming more disturbing. What once looked like creative storytelling now feels like a warning that nobody recognized until it was too late. That uneasy feeling hit its peak the day the Tesla was found. When workers at a Los Angeles towing yard reported a strong odor coming from the impounded car, no one expected what they would uncover. Inside was Celeste's body, and in that instant, what had started as social media gossip turned into a chilling real-life investigation. The boundary between David's imagination and his reality wasn't just blurred anymore, it was shattered.
Officers were called to the tow yard over a foul odor coming from the Tesla, which had been sitting in the lot for several.
When detectives opened the front trunk of the black Tesla, they weren't ready for what they were about to find. Inside, wrapped tightly in layers of plastic, was a dismembered body, a discovery so gruesome that even seasoned officers were left shaken. Within days, the coroner confirmed the horrifying truth. It was 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, who had been missing since April 2024. What had once been dismissed as just another missing person case suddenly became a chilling reality that gripped the entire internet. The confirmation sent shockwaves across social media, but what came next made the story even more disturbing. TMZ reported that Celeste had a small heart tattoo on her finger, the exact same one David had been photographed with just months earlier, in September. That eerie connection between the victim and the rising star sent everyone into a frenzy. People began comparing photos, zooming in on every detail, trying to figure out what kind of relationship the two had shared, and what might have gone so horribly wrong. In the middle of the chaos, Celeste's family finally broke their silence. Her older sister reopened her old Instagram account and shared a heartbreaking post that read, "Celeste was only 15 years old. She should still be here with us. She trusted someone who didn't protect her, and now she's gone." Within hours, the post went viral. Over 1 million views in less than a day. The comment section was filled with heartbreak, anger, and disbelief. The hashtag #HerJusticeForCeleste started trending again, spreading across every platform as people demanded accountability. And Answers Celeste's mother then stepped forward and revealed that she had always suspected her daughter's boyfriend might be someone named David, but she had no proof. When she saw that tattoo on David's finger, her suspicion turned into devastating confirmation. It broke her completely. Not only had she lost her daughter, but she realized the signs had been there all along. The family began questioning how something so tragic could have unfolded right in front of them without anyone stopping it. As more information surfaced, the case only grew darker. It turns out that this wasn't the first time Celeste had disappeared. Police confirmed that she had gone missing earlier that year, in January, but was found a month later, in the Hollywood Hills, just blocks away from where David lived. A teacher later shared that Celeste had mentioned talking to someone online who seemed much older, and that person turned out to be David. When she vanished again in April, no one could have imagined it would end like this. What once seemed like the behavior of a troubled teen now appeared to be the tragic result of manipulation and obsession. And then came the discovery that made everyone's blood run cold. Fans started revisiting David's old songs and found lyrics that eerily seemed to reference Celeste by name. Not just in Romantic Homicide, but in several unreleased songs that had leaked online. In one track from 2023, he sang, "Oh Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest. Smell her on my clothes like cigarettes. I hear her voice each time I take a breath. I'm obsessed." Hearing those words after everything that's happened sent chills through listeners. The song's tone, emotional, obsessive, and dark, now felt like a haunting confession hidden in plain sight. Another leaked verse added to the unease. "Afraid you'll only love me when undressed. But you look so damn gorgeous in that dress. Missing you so much makes me depressed." At first, fans had thought it was just poetic writing, but in hindsight, the lyrics sounded deeply personal, maybe even literal. The songs seem to mirror the timeline of Celeste's life, from when she first disappeared to when she was last seen alive. These eerie connections have fueled speculation that David's mother is trying to get ahead of the story by speaking out. People believe she's hoping to soften public perception, to make investigators view her son as a troubled young man instead of a monster. It's a move that feels calculated, an attempt to paint his disturbing past as the explanation rather than the excuse. Now, the case is everywhere. News outlets, fan forums, podcasts, everyone's trying to piece together what was once a mystery around a rising musician and his dark lyrics has turned into a full-blown criminal investigation that's shaken fans and the public alike. And while people wait for the next update from authorities, one question keeps echoing online. How many clues were sitting right in front of us this whole time? And why did no one see them until it was too late?